the Andaman. Located in the east of the Indian mainland, floating in complete isolation in the Bay of Bengal, is indeed the heaven on earth. And in September 2015, we visited this heaven for the first time. I know, this is 2019. It's been 4 years to the trip already, but the clips I shot during my journey needed to be shown to you guys because one, so much has changed in these 4 years that you needed to know so that you can plan your next trip easily. Well, at least I can. And two, after all it was an once in a lifetime experience, right? Speaking of which, in this vlog we are going to explore the Andaman Island and I have so much information to share with you all. So please subscribe to my channel and let's dive into the video. You can go to the Andaman by air or by ship. In our case, we chose the first one and boarded our flight from Bhubaneswar. Back then there was no direct flight available, so we had to stay in Kolkata for a night and the next morning we caught another flight to reach Port Blair. Whereas now, you can book direct daily flights to Port Blair from Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore and some other locations as well. Also by ship, there are 3 to 4 sailings every month from Kolkata and Chennai to Port Blair. The voyage takes about 50 to 60 hours during fair weather by ship, whereas it takes only 3 hours by flight. After landing at the Veer Savarkar Airport, which is an international airport located in the capital town of Port Blair, we were picked up by our travel agent and went to the hotel which was pre-booked by us. In the afternoon, we headed towards one of the famous beach of Port Blair, the Corbyns Cove beach. People get attracted to this place mainly because of the clear water, refreshing beachy vibes and water sports activity. The pathway to the beach is surrounded by tall coconut trees and you can find 3 to 4 shops here selling coconuts, hats, jewelry and other accessories to the tourists. The next destination for the evening was the Cellular Jail, which was a 15-minute ride from the beach. Around 7 p.m., the light and sound show started, which described the horrifying and darkest period in the history of India. Today, the Cellular Jail is a solemn reminder of all the struggles that our freedom fighters fought through to win the independence of the country, and is an imperative part of our history which needs to be heard and seen. Thus, it's a must visit while you are in the Andamans. If you have enough time, you can also roam around the jail campus and prisons in the daytime. The next day, we went for the Baratang island to visit the Jarawas and the Limestone cave. It took about 1 hour 40 minutes to reach the starting point of the forest, from where photography and videography was strictly prohibited. There is a board showing all the rules and regulations the tourist has to follow before entering into the forest. We had to follow the same and it took about 2 hours to reach the other end. The forest is especially reserved for the Jarawa tribe, which is a very old group of tribal people left in the Andaman. The jungle ride was really adventurous and interesting, and we kept looking for the tribal people to show up. And luckily, we managed to see some of the Jarawa men and women standing at the roadside. While you are here, you have to cross the whole forest by road to reach the Baratang island and also while coming back from the island. After reaching at the Middle Strait jetty, we booked our ferry tickets to visit another jetty, which is known as the Nilambar jetty, and from there, through a speedboat, it took nearly 30 minutes to reach the cave's location. From there, we had to walk for about 2 kilometers to finally reach the limestone cave. As it was raining heavily that day, we had to be very careful while walking through the slippery road. It was definitely adventurous for some of us, but if you are having any injury or scared of narrow paths, I suggest you not to visit this place. As the name suggests, there are massive sedimentary limestone formations, some of which are hanging from the top, some growing from the ground. As you go inside the cave, you can actually see different patterns that are made by limestone. Tiger paws, lotus patterns, even we saw a structure that looked like Lord Ganeshji. The cave remains dark as the sunlight cannot reach to most of the places. So better to carry your own flashlight or even a torchlight of your smartphones would do the help. Also, it's very slippery inside the caves, so you must come in floaters or shoes. After a whole cave tour by our guide, we returned back to the jetty through another road, which was a wooden bridge in the middle of the jungle. The boat ride that connects the location of these caves with Baratang jetty is magnificent. It passes through a narrow mangrove creek, and that is an experience in itself. On the third day morning, we set our journey from Phoenix Bay jetty of Port Blair towards the Havelock Island. Although there are 3 possible ways to reach Havelock, that is by private ferries, by government ferries and by helicopters, the private ferries are the best, most reliable and the fastest way to reach Havelock from Port Blair. Like me, you can book the cruises that ply mostly in the mornings and take between 90 to 120 minutes depending on the weather condition. The cruise experience of that day was really fascinating. Though it was a stormy day, we all enjoyed the journey a lot by watching the large waves passing under us and dancing for a while on the deck. After 2 long hours, we finally reached at the Havelock Island and headed towards our hotel, which was the TSG Blue Resort. The famous Radhanagar beach of Havelock was our relaxing spot for the evening. This beach is crowned as Asia's best beach and the 7th best beach in the world by Time magazine because of its white sand and emerald blue waters, all lined by lush forest and palm trees. Despite of its reputation and popularity, it remains mostly empty compared to other popular beaches of the world. You can visit here around late mornings and afternoons, but the forest guards do not usually allow to stay here after it gets dark. Beach beds and shower rooms are also available at the beach, where you can rest and freshen up after a swim. On the next day, after breakfast in our resort, we went to explore the Neil Island, which was an hour ride from the Havelock's jetty. It's located in the Richel archipelago and can be easily reached from Port Blair and Havelock as well. The island administration operates regular ferry services in the inter-island and foreshore sectors, connecting all populated island or tourist places, so it's very affordable and convenient to travel to such places. While on the ferry Jolly Boy, we had such a great time talking to the sailors and other tourists. The sailors told us several stories about the restricted areas of Andaman and also shared their years of sailing experience with us. We had visited Neil Island much before it was renamed as Shahid Dweep. The island covers an area of less than 20 kilometers and stretches across only 5 kilometers in terms of length. to the island is known as the Neel Jetty, and after jumping out of the ferry, we were mesmerized by the different shades of blue and green water by our side. Neel has only 4 important beaches, which are named after the characters from Ramayana: Ramnagar, Bharatpur, Sitapur and Laxmanpur. We roamed around the island and the villages all day long by cars, which were rented after reaching the jetty, and returned back to Havelock at 4 p.m. by another ferry. On our last day of the trip, after checking out from the resort, we went to the Elephant Beach, which was approximately a 30-minute ride from Havelock Dock. Although now several other modes of transport is available, you will be missing the breathtaking views of the ocean if you are not going by a boat. This beach is an ideal destination because of all the water sports activities it provides to the tourists and the travelers. After reaching, we did snorkeling and spotted some colored fishes and corals. After the snorkeling session, we went for the glass boat riding, where we saw several variety of fishes and marine animals through the glass. The rich coral reef structure and amazing underwater marine life is something you should not miss while you are in the Havelock. Even kids and elders can do it easily, as one does not have to go to the water to be able to watch these. After 20 minutes of glass boat ride, we came back to Havelock around 2 p.m. Around 4 p.m. we returned back to Port Blair by another cruise. The cruise ride was epic as we experienced the sunset in the middle of the ocean. Also, if you are lucky, you can spot some dolphins somewhere around that time. Like this, we bid goodbye to the Andamans, spending 5 awesome days in the place which is truly the heaven on the earth. The Turkish blue water, creamy white sand, lush green forest, epic sunsets, empty beaches, cute local lights, adventurous boat rides, tribal people, scary stories of the sailor, and my time with the amazing group. I will remember the Andamans like this. Of course, until my next visit.